Another episode of Inside Out. I'm James Catledge, your host, and today's episode is about AI, artificial intelligence. This is a new area for me and probably you. As we talk today with an AI expert, an AI whisperer, if you will, we've got him here. He's flown in from the state of Utah to be with us today, and I'm very familiar with this gentleman. I've known him almost my entire life, actually, and his profession is this AI space that's so curious and so on us right now. And so we brought in the great Chris Allen to join me today on this episode as we discuss AI.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thanks, James.
Yeah, glad you're here. Chris, if you would, just for my sake, tell me how you define AI. What is it?
Well, artificial intelligence, of course, AI is short for artificial intelligence, and it is, it's funny that we talk about me being an expert in artificial intelligence and AI. The ironic part about that is that, really this space in the last 2 to 3 years, I mean, it's been going on for a long time, but in the last 2 to 3 years, it has really exploded.
Yeah.
And it's moving at a pace that it's hard to even fathom.
Yeah.
And so I've typically been someone that's always on the cutting edge, the early adopter, the one that's way out in front. I'm typically working with technology that's 10 years ahead of itself, and I'm ahead of the market. Well, AI is moving so fast I can barely keep up with it. So what is it? Artificial intelligence. It's the best way to describe it would be if you took all of the data and the information, the knowledge of humanity, right? All the books, presentations, companies, email communication, and
commercial journals.
Feed it into this intelligent machine, right? That's consuming it all. It's just taking it all in.
Okay.
And for a long time, we of course everybody knows, or most people know about ChatGPT. It was kind of the first big on the scene access to the everyday person could get on there and work with it. We know that that was trained up until this is recently this has changed, but it was trained up until 2022. So anything that occurred after 2022 for a long time, ChatGPT didn't have access to, right? So imagine all that information, all that data is trained, and it learns. So this artificial intelligence, it's like a brain, it functions like a brain. So it has its circuit boards and GPUs instead of human. Brain, and it's very similar though. They work in a very similar way.
It's a neural network.
A neural network, but it's based on GPUs and computers. So then you take all that information and then you say, okay, we've trained you on humanity and how we speak and communicate and coordinate and what's the subtleties of our communication and all that. And now we want you to mimic that.
Okay. Is this the large language model you're referring to?
Yes, LLM is what you'll hear people call this, right? Now, of course, we have many different, Claude, Anthropic has Claude, 3.5, Sonnet is one of my favorites right now. Okay. You got ChatGPT, you've got Grok, Elon Musk is launching.
I've heard
These
all
are
these
all
words.
LLMs.
Okay, they're all LLMs. Why do we need all of them, and what are they trying to do? These are big companies spending lots of money on GPUs. Why?
Yeah. Well, this is the most transformative moment. We're at a critical juncture right now, humanity. Okay. And I'm talking big picture here. Okay. Critical juncture because we've all seen the movies, right? We've all seen Terminator, The Matrix. Yeah. We know what happens. Oh, iRobot. I definitely recommend people go watch iRobot because Tesla robots are coming. They're about to be mass marketed. You've got automatic, driving machines that will drive itself and, navigate. This is all real. This is not science fiction anymore. Right. All of this is powered by artificial intelligence. And of course, this has always been behind the scenes. Google's been using this technology for a long time to the algorithms to learn about your habits online and what you like and don't like. And it's literally feeding you things before you know I know you've had it happen, right? Where you say something, you have a conversation with somebody, and all of a sudden
my Instagram heard it. It starts serving me up content based on a conversation.
That's behind the scenes AI, right? Okay. And so that's been going on. So
that's AI.
Time. That's artificial intelligence. Yeah.
Where else would I have experienced AI?
Pandora.
Pandora's AI.
Pandora's AI.
Apple Music is AI. Yeah. Spotify.
Yeah. Anything that's looking at patterns. Oh. Right. So it's gonna look at your history and your patterns and what you do and what you like. Okay. And it's going to learn about you right? Which is kind of creepy, right?
Kind of, but it's trying to make my life better.
At the same time, the more it learns, the more it knows what you might be looking for. Now, this is also where this is why we have to really the ethical, adoption of artificial intelligence is so critical for humanity. We have to get this right.
Yeah.
We're at this critical juncture, and if we embrace this and we don't fear it, because that's where we get into trouble, right? If we fear this thing, now we need to be cautious. We need to be very cautious, right? But there's a big difference between caution and fear.
Sure.
Right? Caution is just saying, hey, we got to make sure humanity's in the driver's seat. And we got to identify what is it that humans bring to the table that artificial intelligence can't do.
Okay, hold on. We're covering a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
This is such a complicated subject, okay? And most of us have normal jobs, normal careers,
right.
And we don't think AI is involved in it. We don't think AI will be involved with it in the future. And it sounds like something that's for other people. And I'm trying, and I know that may not be the case.
Yeah.
And so I'm wanting the audience to understand that AI is being deployed in their lives currently.
That's right.
Currently.
Correct.
And where else would they see it? Social media, their music app choices.
Correct.
Where else would we see?
Amazon's
it's a great example.
Yeah.
So Amazon's recommending products to me.
Exactly.
That's artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What else? Where else would I interface with AI?
Well, of course, now you're getting searches like we're now moving into a new search engine.
Okay.
Google is the old search engine.
Okay.
Right. And that's just kind of archiving websites and algorithms to kind of bring. And there was still AI involved.
Using domains to register content.
Yeah. And then of course, then Google turned that into there's an old saying: if the product is free, you're the product.
Yeah, right. That's right.
So that was their play, and they've given you incredible, valuable free tools. Well, the exchange is that Google's learning about us.
Okay, so they're building their large language model off all the free products that we interface with, Gmail, Google Maps.
Right. So it's not personal. They're not like personally looking at email, but generically they're
developing
at
patterns.
Communication, and the AI's learning how to communicate just like we do.
Why do they want to do all that?
Why do they want to do all that? Because the future, if we get it right, the future is bright. The future is very exciting because if one company, this is why OpenAI was created, it's turned into something different. But if one company controls this, if one country controls this?
Sure.
This kind of power is frightening.
Sure.
And we should be cautiously optimistic.
All right. I want the audience to understand the awesomeness of the power. The awesomeness of the technology. We're going to get into why they should be cautious about it. But I want them to understand how it's being widely used, where it's going, how it's going to be used going forward, and then let's get into some use cases.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's stay on this idea of why does Meta, Google, Amazon, Tesla, these guys are busy buying GPUs by the tens of thousands.
Yep.
And these GPUs are replacing what we used to call CPUs. Central processing units are being replaced by graphic processing units.
Right.
Is that because of quantum computing versus linear computing? What's the difference between the GPU and the CPU?
Well, it's capacity.
Okay,
right?
it's compute power.
Yeah, compute power.
Raw compute power in a GPU is more advanced over a CPU.
Right. And this is how artificial intelligence today, right now, in its current existence, right? I'm not going to talk about the future. I'm talking about right now.
Okay.
It has already, just give you one example, okay? In the radiologist, right? The radiologist is trained, they go through extensive schooling to learn how to read
an X-ray on
the chart, right?
Yep.
The scan. They know how to read it. They know how to look at it.
They're great at it.
They know how to find the cancer, find the whatever, find the problem, right? Well, right now, you can go to just regular old ChatGPT on a free account. You can upload, this is just study just came out. You can upload your chart and
my X-ray.
Your X-ray. And AI through ChatGPT currently, that's the
free version
case study, Yeah, it will look at, you can upload it, it will look at the chart, and it will read it better than the world's best radiologist.
Okay, hold on, stop, hold on. Okay, wait, this is good. So you're telling, radiology is an expertise.
Right.
Okay, so the world's, let's just say you were both radiologists. You're better than me. You've seen more scans than me. It's probably a function of reps.
Experience.
You've seen more, you've seen more scans. You're better than me at it.
Right, right.
You're telling me that right now, ChatGPT can outscan every radiologist that's ever existed in the ability to identify patterns, problems, issues, cancers, bone problems, all the stuff. Right now.
Right now. And they can catch things that most radiologists would not catch. Now, you might have one that would catch everything, but there are times when this could save your life.
Okay.
Now, I want to stop here, though,
Not
James.
a doctor's version of ChatGPT.
No.
The version we have on our phone, I have the app. I have it on my phone.
Yeah.
So okay.
You can upload that.
So that speaks to the speed at which AI is advancing in the areas it's trained on.
Correct.
All right.
And it continues to expand, You know,
Yeah.
we used to talk about being the smartest person in the room.
Yes.
Right? Who's the smartest person in the room? Well, it used to be the smartest person in the room.
Yeah.
Was the one who had all the knowledge.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
They could answer any question. They could, they were expert in their field, right?
And typically the smartest person in the room is also the richest person in the room.
Typically.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the knowledge,
They've
that's
accumulated and deployed knowledge.
And that is our education system has been churning out those smartest people in the room, the PhDs.
Correct.
And they're in
the
these,
Ivy Leaguers.
Yeah, they're in these, different careers. And here's the thing. I want to be real clear about this because this is the moment we're in with humanity. So right now, we're at a critical juncture. And there are things, like I just explained one that artificial intelligence is superior at right now today.
Yeah.
And it's, looking at as like a radiologist and reviewing that, right? That's just one.
Which is crazy.
That's just one.
Yeah.
But let's make no mistake. Human intelligence is still absolutely critical. This is where we got to pivot to as humanity. The smartest person in the room is no longer the one that has all the knowledge. It's the person who knows how to ask the right questions.
Of the room or of the technology?
Of the technology. Because if you come in, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I come to the technology and I want to know. The world's smartest, you name it, have already been studied and internalized, and the data and the, right? So it has that working knowledge. Now, it's also not perfect. There's things
is
called,
AI.
Yeah, it is AI, artificial intelligence. And again, it's going to come in multiple different formats, multiple different, like for example, Grok.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is way about open. Like he's not going to, he's going to get the guardrails off, right?
Yeah.
He's going to let people use this, but he's going to demarcate, hey, this is done by AI. So you're not going to be able to fool people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's
but at the same time,
AI-based product.
He's free speech, right? So he wants to. Well, then other LLMs are going to be very guardrailed. Like one of the most guardrailed is Anthropic's Claude. Like there's very serious guardrails in there to make sure that you're not, using AI to do something.
Who's
to hurt.
behind Anthropic?
Well, some of the founders from, I believe, Google, maybe OpenAI. I think they pulled from several different.
Do you consider that a superior use of the AI LLM?
It just depends on what you want to use it for. Right? Like every one of these has, a
different expertise.
Really good. Like I love that for creative writing and brainstorming. I love, Anthropic's Claude 3.5 Sonnet, right? I think it's great at copywriting. The reasoning models that ChatGPT released for their paid members, which is, I highly recommend everybody get a paid account. It's $20 a month.
Wow.
And then $20 a month, and you're the smartest person in the room.
You are always the smartest person in the room if you have ChatGPT.
If you know the right questions to ask, right? And that curiosity. Here's the things that we've got to pivot. Humanity. These are human intelligences, right? Curiosity. Right. Leadership qualities, communication, emotional intelligence, right? Being able to read body language, relationships, right? Like I still need the doctor to deliver the news to me. I still need to trust the doctor and look him in the eye and hear, what's going on with me. But I feel better that the doctor's leveraging the latest artificial intelligence tools to make sure that they don't miss anything. Right? That's a win-win situation. And that's what it looks like when humanity excels and brings our intelligence, things that AI doesn't do well. And then harnesses artificial intelligence for what it does.
You've used a phrase with me that AI is not coming for my job.
Right.
You finish the phrase.
But somebody who knows how to leverage it, wield it, use it is 100% today.
Okay, break that down, because I think that's a powerful thought, that AI is not coming to replace my job. AI in the right hands, that person may be coming to replace my job. So if I sit here and don't use AI, don't use the tools, and don't use the large language model, don't use the technology.
In my career.
In my career.
In my career.
Or in my life, financial planning,
financial
whatever.
Planning, wherever,
So I refuse, healthcare. So I'm not going to use it.
Thumb your nose at it. Or you're scared of it.
I know some stuff.
Yeah.
And that stuff's for younger people. And it's not for guys like me.
Right.
Okay, so that person's in trouble with that mindset.
Yes. Yeah. This is where we are today. You know, artificial. I tell people, artificial is not coming for your job today. Now, hear what I just say. Today.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So that's where we are today. Now that may change.
And are you saying that based on the current level of technology, where we are in the advancement of the AI?
Yeah. And it's mostly not about the technology; it's about adoption. See, adoption's always years behind.
Sure.
The technology.
Of course.
And so the reason that somebody's coming for your job that knows how to leverage artificial intelligence is because they're going to deliver a far superior experience to their employer, to their customer, to the people they serve,
their audience,
to their family. I
Yeah.
mean, every aspect of their life, they're going to have more quality, right?
Let's get down to, now, I think I know the answer, but you may fix my thought on this. Why? Why is a person armed with AI better than a 40-year veteran radiologist? Why is I'm a new radiologist. I just started today. And I've got access to ChatGPT. And you've been a radiologist for 52 years. You've seen every scan possible in 52 years. All that you could see, you've had access to them, and you're the best scanner there is in our hospital. Why is there a chance I could be better than you on day one? Why? Why?
Well, I would say that, you know, there's more than a chance. It's in all likelihood. Knowing what I know about artificial intelligence and where we are, I would want the young doctor that was not as experienced, who is open to embracing the latest technology, leveraging artificial intelligence.
Why?
Why would I? Because that artificial intelligence can scan hundreds of millions of scans.
So every scan ever available in the repository is available to the new young doctor.
Exactly. And just like that, he can run a scan and he can get a readout. And the danger is the more seasoned, more experienced, the guy, and hopefully his human intel or her human intelligence is off the charts, because if you've got human intelligence skills. And by the way, I'd recommend you go join the humanintelligencemovement.org. Right? Because
that's our website?
It's Human Intelligence Movement. It's a huge movement that's been launched to, you know, because as artificial,
to help people understand.
Absolutely. This is how does humanity thrive in the age of artificial intelligence? Right? And I've got a book that I'm writing called Empowering Humanity in the Age of Artificial Intelligence.
Oh, that's great.
Which is, the website is empoweringhumanity.ai. So this is done right. We're in the driver's seat, and we're the ones that ethically are adopting and bringing in this technology, not out of fear, right? Not fearing it and trying to compete with it. Think about that. You know, right now, what are our schools doing? This is what the human intelligence movement's all about. They're churning out people for a knowledge-based workforce. Right? Remember the smartest person in the room?
The Harvards, the Yales, the pedigrees.
And the more you know, the less you're going to rely on tools, right? Because you think you know. And so who's going to own the future? It's going to be those that embrace and work with and collaborate with and develop their human skills, right?
And I think I understand it, but I want to make sure I'm using the words that you agree with. And if you don't agree, fix me. Correct me, please. The reason this is such an easy formulation to come to, an easy conclusion to come to, is it isn't any longer about my life experience. Because the AI has all lives experience trained in it. So it's no longer about and I think this is the paradigm shift that's not occurred yet.
It is, yeah.
It's the reason people are having a hard time with this AI thing is because they may have spent years becoming an expert in their domain.
Sure. Yeah.
And now all of a sudden the new kid on the block has every expert who's ever lived since Adam and Eve, every presentation, every YouTube video, everything ever said, spoken, or written can be trained in your domain into a model.
That's right.
And so it's almost arrogant to think that a person like me, let's just say, I have been in the financial services space for, I don't know, close to 30 years.
Yeah.
And I am one who could be easily deluded into thinking I know some things about financial services.
Sure, you do.
And I do. But I only know what I know. And I only know the experience I have. I don't know all of it. And so the AI in my hands gives me access to all of it, plus my experience in this domain, which makes me pretty powerful.
Correct. Well, and here's the question. The real question is, how is your human intelligence skills?
Right.
How are you at
define those for me?
Creative problem solving.
Okay.
How are you at innovating?
Asking questions.
Asking questions, thinking outside the box, right?
Yeah.
Not thinking about a solution, not a problem, but thinking about outside the box, how could we solve that problem?
Right.
Right? Knowing the right questions to ask. Because you, with that kind of, emotional intelligence, reading people, relationships, right? Leveraging relationships. AI can't do that. Nobody wants to have a relationship with an AI. You want to have a relationship with a human being.
Yes.
Now, that also could change. That also could change.
Yeah.
But right now, those human skills are what we need to be developing.
That's where the value is those human skills.
In the workforce, right? The only value that humanity will bring are human intelligence, because anything that can be done, this is what you have to do. You have to sit down and go, okay, here's my space, here's my industry, here's my expertise. What is AI good at, and what are humans good at? I need
within my domain.
Within my domain, right? I need to develop my skills in emotional intelligence, problem solving, communication skills, leadership, right? Collaboration, right?
It's not good enough to be the answer guy, because the answer guy is in the compute. The answers are in the compute now. It's about what to do with those answers.
Correct.
And how to seek more answers. Ask harder questions. So this I just heard today, and you and I had lunch together, and we had some other folks with us at lunch, and you said something to me I'd never thought about, and I love this idea, and I think the audience will appreciate us sharing this experience. We talked about the word hallucination, which is known in the AI world as when the AI's made an error in facts.
Correct.
It's done the computation, and it's delivered what considers to be a rounded off answer, or it's hallucinated. It's not giving you crispy, clean answers.
Correct.
And you said this, and I'd never thought about it this way. You said, James, if you remove hallucination from AI, you remove the ability to brainstorm. You remove the ability to ask a probative question and have it seek answers creatively. He says, if we leave hallucination in, we leave all that power in to activate my human intelligence. If we remove it because we're fact-finding, data seeking, we can do that on Google.
That's right.
We can do that with an encyclopedia.
Other tools.
Right. AI is not about regurgitating facts, although it can.
It can.
And it uses it as a baseline to help me understand things I don't know. But that's not its real power. Its real power is taking my second, third, and fourth question.
Correct.
And then, it's deep. And most people are just not deep.
No, they're surface. And they don't know how to go deep with AI. And yes, so
because they can't go deep with each other.
So this is why we need multiple LLMs, right? We need LLM for, like some are very good at getting the facts right.
Medical.
Some are very good at creative writing, right?
If
you're creative writing and you want to go back and forth with the AI, you need to be able to make stuff up. You need to be able to hallucinate, right? You need to be able to think about what can be, not what is. Right? You need to be able to project the price of Bitcoin, a year from now, right? Do the analysis. Like, you're making it up. You don't know. That AI can't tell you exactly what Bitcoin's going to be in a year, but it can go back and look at patterns in history and all kinds of data.
And it can guess better than I can guess.
And it can guess better than you can guess. That's right. And
right.
so is that a hallucination?
No, it's a better guess.
It's a better guess.
Because we're guessing anyway.
Right. Now you can refine, and I've worked with a lot of companies on projects where we're refining artificial intelligence to get as close to accurate as we can. So depending on the use case and what you're using artificial intelligence to do, because yes, we have these big LLMs, but we can take these big LLMs and create multiple use cases.
Why do we need why do we need them to be so big? And why are they spending billions and billions and billions of dollars to be so big?
Right,
Why?
Well, because you're talking about the entire, this is what you hear about the singularity that we're moving towards, right?
Sure.
Where all the information and knowledge of Earth, since the beginning of time,
ever put on paper.
Every thought we have, ultimately it's going to be like
every piece of data.
Every single thing coming together so that it is literally one.
Okay. That's singular.
The singularity, one intelligence, right?
Okay.
And so we're just an extension of that. But that's way down the road.
Sure.
Well, some would say as early as 5 to 6 years down the road. But
compute's moving pretty quick.
It's moving quick.
So why do we need it all though to help humanity? Why do we need? How does it help humanity?
Okay, so here's what you have to break down.
Okay.
Say and again, every industry is doing this right now. If they're not, they're you're going to get swallowed.
Yeah.
But every industry has to sit down and go, what does humanity bring to the table in our field that AI is not good at?
Okay.
Right. What does artificial intelligence? Now, what is it good at? Well, it's good at going to all of those data sources that you just talked about. Right. Scanning everything out there. The best out there is perplexity.ai.
Yeah, I love Perplexity.
Because it's going to go out. It's going to pull every bit of information from Reddit, from the internet, from the experts.
It shows you the source.
And it's going to show you the sources, and then it's going to take a conglomerate of all of that, and it's going to answer your question. Right? And cite it. Right. And then here's another thing that it does. Because one of the most powerful skill sets of the future, right? Now, I keep saying that now.
Yeah,
one of the most powerful skill sets
sounds like we're talking about a future thing.
Is to be able to ask the quality of your questions, right? So Perplexity is not only going to give you the answer, it's going to say, hey, you might want to consider these 5 questions. Right. It knows the questions that you hadn't even thought to ask.
And it knows we're not good at yet at asking them.
And this is a muscle, James. So we got to exercise this muscle, right?
Yeah.
Our human intelligence muscles. I'd be taking courses in EQ.
Yeah.
I'd be
emotional IQ.
Emotional intelligence, right? Because that's a skill set that's not going anywhere.
100%.
And it's going to become more. I would take communication skills. I would take public speaking skills.
Yeah.
I would, anything, creative problem solving.
Right.
Adaptability.
Right.
See, these are resilience.
The ability to change.
The ability to, I mean, you have to be hungry and willing to let go of your sacred cows.
Nimble and agile.
Because your sacred cows are your experience and your wisdom and your knowledge that's holding you back in this world that we're in right now.
Right. Yeah. It's the one that's going to hold back every person who's working for a company and thinks they're an expert.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's not ego, it's dogma.
Yeah.
And all those things are preventing them from adopting AI at the rate they should.
Let's talk about a historical example of this, like the Johannes Gutenberg, right?
Yeah, the press.
Invents the printing press in the 1400s.
Yes.
And up until that time, the only written copy of written word in a book was painstakingly scribed.
In a book.
And it was beautiful, and monks did it, and the Bible's been, translated in all these different
So before
languages.
the Gutenberg, the only written word we had was like a calligrapher penning into a book.
And it was the elite of the elites,
You mean the person writing?
Yes. I mean, this was a art. This was... If you were in this space and you were
like
creating books,
banker.
This is the highest of society.
Okay,
right?
A neurosurgeon, this kind of level.
Right.
Wow.
And here comes the Gutenberg press.
Oh, they got to love this.
Right? Now, we had these huge advanced civilizations that were controlling the world, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they were just they were superpowers, right?
Sure.
And then you had Europe. And and here comes Europe, and they're like, "Oh no, we're adopting this. We're gonna get this out, man. We're gonna get knowledge out. We're gonna get knowledge to everybody in our country and raise the entire." And meanwhile, the elites What did they do? The PhDs, the painstaking.
You don't want
they
this.
just got upset about it. Oh, that's vulgar. That's vulgar to do that.
To commercialize the written word.
They were like, oh, they talked down to the people that would use the Gutenberg press.
Well,
we know what happened.
Yeah.
Right? That society fell, and
crumbled.
Europe just exploded.
Yeah,
leveraged the
empire.
Gutenberg press.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the moment we're in history
You
right
attribute that empire's development, the not the Roman Empire, but the European Empire that went around the world putting their flag everywhere.
Yeah.
You attribute the Gutenberg as the fire starter.
Well, we could also talk about the American Revolution, because Benjamin Franklin used that to make pamphlets for the
penny
first
press.
time. Remember the pamphlet?
Yes.
Right? There was no such
Thomas
thing as
Paine.
a pamphlet. It was invented right at the, and we used the press to run, to print those off and to get those.
So to move the propaganda around the colonies.
Exactly. So I mean, it was transformational in America, transformational in Europe.
You think we're at this moment? You think we're at a Gutenberg moment?
I think it's a bigger moment.
Bigger.
It's bigger than the Gutenberg. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Bigger than the computer age.
Bigger than the internet, bigger by far. It's moving at a rate. I mean, I was in the middle of the internet when we had the .com revolution and all these companies, and and it was moving at a hectic pace then. And we had our winners after a decade.
Is this bigger because it reaches every person on the planet?
Well,
why is it bigger?
Absolutely reaches every person on the planet. And here's where it is. Right now, the technology that we have right now, artificial intelligence in its current version right now, society's way behind in adoption.
Sure.
For what it's capable of.
And we always are.
Right, always.
Yeah.
But the speed it's moving and the speed that society is adopting, this is like, it's not computing. And so by the time society adopts it, it's already, further down the road. We're literally at a moment right now where people don't know it. They're at their work. They're at their job.
Yeah, busy.
They don't even realize
it's
that
happening.
Right now there is somebody that's programming, can AI do this? Can we leverage AI to do this?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they don't even realize it. Yeah. Now, if they do embrace it, they don't fear it. They embrace it, right? They learn about it. They learn how to leverage it, wield it, learn how to collaborate with it, learn how to brainstorm with it, like we were talking about, learn how to take their position. I mean, one of my companies is careerhacks.ai, right? What's that about? Well, it's about hacking your career. Yeah. Right? Like taking artificial intelligence and hacking your. It doesn't matter what you do. Like there's no position out there that you can't use and leverage artificial intelligence to do a part of what you do. Right? Now, the more physical labor you're doing, the safer you are. But who thought the physical laborers were going to be the safe ones?
Right.
Who thought that dirty jobs?
Hey, that's interesting.
You're
right.
They're the ones that you try to get.
So the white collar person's in trouble.
The white collar person's in trouble.
It's coming for it first.
Right.
Because it's knowledge based.
We didn't see that coming.
Because it's knowledge based.
That's correct.
Would you say? I'm just thinking of this as you're talking. My brain's running very, very fast on this subject right now. Do you believe, and I guess this is an opinion question, but I want your opinion. You're an expert in this area. Is it your belief that because we can now arm every man, woman, and child on the planet with all the information that's ever been assembled on the planet, is that the reason? Every man, woman, and child can be armed with everything ever written, spoken, or presented?
Yes.
That's it.
That's it. It's a great equalizer, right? Like all you
Never ever has this occurred before.
And don't think it's not in Africa and third world countries where they have phones. Oh yeah. They have total internet connection.
No, they have smartphones now.
They're even ahead in some areas of infrastructure. And then you got those satellites now with Elon Musk.
Right.
A cheap device.
Yeah.
And Starlink. Anyone on the planet has access to this
satellite
kind of power.
technology.
And so your ability to wield it, use it, leverage it becomes essential. And of course, that's the human skills that we've got to develop.
Okay, so you believe strongly, and I can just see this, that the entire education system globally has got to change.
And it's got to change fast.
Because it's designed to deliver a person who can regurgitate facts.
Yeah, we're sending kids out right now to compete with AI.
Right. Yeah. Not on purpose, but it just happened to be the case.
Well, no, it makes sense. If you look at the way that our society evolved from the agrarian to the knowledge base.
Yes.
Well, then it was the manufacturers, right? The machines,
the industrialists,
and they started doing the manufacturing industrial age, right?
Right.
Then we went to knowledge based,
yes.
right? And that's where we've been.
Yeah.
We've been in the knowledge based economy. So the smartest person in the room was the one that had all the PhD degrees.
Yes, they
can
answer all the questions.
And the experience, and
we always loved and respected that person.
Yeah,
we always looked up to them.
Right.
And so right now, it's every man, woman, and child on earth is that person.
If they
use
embrace
AI.
it, understand it,
assuming everybody's got the AI on their smartphone.
Right.
We are all the smartest person in every room.
And the person that asks the best questions will truly be the smartest person in the room.
Right.
Yeah.
And the questions not of each other, the questions of the machine.
Yeah, it's actually both, right?
Yeah.
The quality
I'm
of your
probing
questions.
you to go to the machine.
Right. The quality of your questions to both humans and artificial intelligence and coordinate like an orchestra, right?
Right.
We're leveraging what AI does, we're leveraging what humanity's good at, and we're bringing something new to the table. And this is why I'm so excited about the future. Obviously, we got to be cautious.
Sure.
Right. We got to be careful. We need a lot of thought in this process, and we need oversight. There's no.
Well, who's doing all that thinking? Who's doing all that oversight? Who are these people?
Well, there are movers and shakers in the industry. People that have worked in some of with these companies that build these LLMs that have kind of left and are sounding the alarm bells.
You're talking about like Elon and Sam Altman and these are the folks?
Those are some of the players, but they now have a vested interest in AI.
Sure.
So you also want to look at people who are maybe not connected to some of these LLMs.
Okay.
And what they're saying, and with some of the cautionary, the tales that they will tell.
You have confidence that we'll get the guardrails right?
Well, I wouldn't say confidence. Guardrails are tough, right? And do we here? Like, let me give you an example. So, here, let's say that in the U.S. we create the tightest guardrails around AI. Well, what's China going to do? What's Russia going to do?
Open it up.
Yeah,
or open it up,
or open
less
it up,
tight.
Open it up to all kinds of nefarious
and just less tight,
maybe.
less tight, and it's better.
Right? Yeah,
just less tight.
But you see how the danger we could put these rails in place. We could overdo it.
Yeah, it almost needs to be a UN, NATO-based decision making.
And even that's
pool.
scary. It's like who's. I mean, it ultimately, and this is why the original vision of OpenAI was to create a central open place.
Oh yeah, a repository.
So that no one person or one company or one country would have undue power. That was the original vision of OpenAI.
What happened to OpenAI?
They became a profit-driven company instead of a non-profit-driven company.
Okay, give us a little bit of that history.
Well, and again, I'm not an expert in all of this. I can just speak in general terms. In general terms, you had a falling out between Elon Musk and Sam Altman,
and the team.
There was a little bit some lawsuits going back and forth.
Yeah.
And Sam Altman has, he's been moving the company in the direction of more profit commercialization, right? And I think that there's been some really good things that's come out of that. Right?
Okay.
Microsoft made a big investment.
It certainly sped it up.
It sped it up. And also, but I love to see the competition though. Like there's so many players on the field. The more, the better.
Right.
Because and again, the scarier it is too. You know, because you got who knows which one of these, maybe becomes a concern.
Well, what's interesting to me, Chris, and I follow the stocks pretty closely, is the smartest people in America seem to be in this Silicon Valley space. They seem to be in these hyperscalers, they call them, these big, large companies that are building the large language models. They are devoting
resources,
100% of their R&D budgets to chip purchases to buy more compute power for this movement. Yeah. Almost like a race, an arms race for compute power. Is that what you're observing?
Absolutely. It's a war. I call it the AI wars, right? And we're in the middle of AI
and nobody's
wars.
Sitting out. They're all in on it. What are they afraid of? Why wouldn't one just say, "Hey, look, we're not committing hundreds of billions of dollars to chips to build AI"? Why are not somebody sitting out?
Because these will be the engines that power all the use cases that humanity will be leveraging.
So it's unanimous, I guess is the point I'm wanting to get to. Mm-hmm. So there's not this is not like an opinion that AI is going to be helpful to us.
Right.
It's unanimous amongst the smartest people on the planet.
Right.
They're in agreement.
They 100% know where the world is going.
And they're trying to get there.
And they want to be the first to get there. They want to be the best. They want to be the first. They want to be the best, right? And those are the AI wars going on right now. There's talent wars.
An
like
AI compute war.
Yeah. AI compute power.
Who's
talent
leading?
Power.
Who's leading?
It depends on what your use case is, right? It depends on what you want to do.
Raw compute.
Raw compute. I just heard.
Tesla?
Yeah. Elon Musk and Grok and putting the biggest GPU.
Oh, that's colossal. That's the. You got to Google this, guys. Colossal is the largest compute power concentrated in one space, located in a factory in Memphis, Tennessee. They built it in 19 days. It takes 2 to 4 years to build one of these factories. They did it in 19 days because Elon is committed financially and in every other way to owning the raw compute power race.
Right. And so you can rent that compute power out.
Yeah.
So, like AI developers.
So that's what they're doing. They're readying it to be rentable.
Yeah. Well, actually, NVIDIA's already doing it.
That's what a data center is.
Yeah. Well, a data center is a data center, but they're now taking the GPUs, right? And they're letting, I'll give you an example, just in a real world that most people could probably connect to. Gamers.
Okay,
right?
sure. Yeah.
So gaming computers are very expensive, right? They take the GPU. NVIDIA was the king of the gaming.
It uses
video
quantum
cards,
computing,
right?
a different level of computing.
You'll drop $3,000-$4,000 for a gaming computer easily if you want a cutting edge
cooling
gaming
power
computer.
in it and everything else.
All of it, right? That has the GPU, the latest GPU. That's why NVIDIA is king right now because they were the pioneer. They were the best when it came to gaming.
Are they the king right now? NVIDIA?
Oh yeah, for GPUs, no, hands down.
No doubt.
No, there's others trying to catch up, but AMD.
But what if you build your whole data center on NVIDIA chips? You can't just reload this. All the software programming is being built on top of those chips. You're building your whole network and frame on top of those foundations.
But let's go back to this example. Okay, so instead of getting the $4,000 computer now, you can now just rent from NVIDIA one of their GPUs.
Okay.
So you now can take a Chromebook. You could take the cheapest. All you need is a screen. Okay. You have a screen and a good internet connection.
Okay.
You can now tap into the latest GPU from NVIDIA and power up and create anything you can imagine with a GPU.
Okay.
And NVIDIA will rent that to you for $10, $15 a month, $20 a month.
So as a
you don't have
small
to go
business,
back out. You don't have to go back out and get a $4,000 computer. And gamers are the ones that are using this right now more than anybody. But developers are renting GPUs, right?
Okay.
So whoever controls these super, powerful GPUs like Elon Musk is going to be they're going to be extremely valuable because they're the commodity of the age of artificial intelligence. The commodity. That's why NVIDIA's stock is, and what are they,
crazy.
$3 trillion?
$3.5 trillion, I think, is the market cap on NVIDIA. So in all the companies, from Tesla to Google to Meta, they're all in Amazon, they're all in the same race.
Correct.
Building the same LLMs, it's the same size.
Right.
Okay.
The same thing Microsoft did with OpenAI.
And ChatGPT.
Right.
Yeah. So Microsoft's partnered up at a large level with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Like they're a large shareholder, primary shareholder with them. So ultimately, and these names I know will be strange names for folks new to AI, but ultimately there's an arms race for AI and the AI power, the compute power.
And it's a global arms race. China is,
they're busy with it.
We made a really good move, in my opinion, in America, the U.S., and by saying we're not going to allow those NVIDIA GPUs to be sold into China. Right now, China's having to
build
figure
their
out,
own
but they
Huawei,
are, and they are.
But through Huawei,
and they're working around the clock. So this is not just us; it's all over the world right now.
Is this a good decision to throttle or bridle the technology capacity that China has as far as purchasing chips with inferior power? Is that a good idea? In the end, what are we doing? What are we doing? Slowing them down?
We're slowing them down. Yeah, and I think that's probably again, it depends on where you're coming from. But if you're concerned about China, then slowing them down is a good thing. If you're not concerned about China, then you're not worried about it.
What's to be? I know the geopolitics of China, but from a AI standpoint, what's to be concerned about?
Oh my goodness!
Just tell us.
Yeah, well, I mean, just play this out, okay?
Yeah, play it out. That's what I want.
You know, and again, this is the caution, right? This is why we need to be cautious, why we need to, you know, the only thing powerful enough to combat AI, if AI ever gets let loose in a malicious way, like an attack.
You mean cut loose in the wild?
Yeah, like let's say a foreign country decides that they want to attack our country.
Okay.
So they create a malicious artificial intelligence agent to take over infrastructure, to take over the electrical grid, whatever, you know, whatever that could be. And then if we don't have artificial intelligence in the Defense Department that can catch that, in other words, humans aren't going to catch it.
No.
We're going to have to use AI against AI. This is what it means, AI wars, right?
All right. I got you. Okay. So basically, this is what you mean by playing out the worst case scenarios. An enemy of ours decides to use this technology against us from not a technology.
Malicious. Let's just say malicious.
To cause harm.
Malicious intent. Yeah.
To hurt American citizens.
Yeah. Now, or cripple the government.
Yeah. We're not talking about a war of commerce. We're not talking about a war of compute power. Right. We're talking about hurting people. That's
well, yeah. I mean,
because I don't get too caught up in they're ahead of us, we're ahead of them from a market standpoint, commerce standpoint. No. I mean,
let the free market handle
it. Right. I'm a free market guy. Right. But you're talking about causing harm.
Yeah. This can be used. You know, this is why you don't want one country to have AI, and it would be like nuclear. This is like nuclear weapons.
I see.
Right. If the power of nuclear. Think about how protective and how guarded we are about the power of nuclear. Sure. That's how we need to be thinking about AI in the wrong hands, AI unbridled, AI unchecked.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we have to be very serious about, you know, how do we protect ourselves? And we're going to need AI to protect ourselves from AI.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, that
and again,
makes sense.
it's not. Is it because artificial intelligence becomes conscious at some point and comes and wakes up and realizes that humanity is competing with it for resources? Like that's the story of the Terminator, right? Sure. You know, or is it another country that wields and creates something that is designed to take out an infrastructure of another company? Another country.
Yeah. Right? Tell me, and you may not know this, but I'm just curious. You'll certainly know more than I would about it. Are governments all in on the AI or just some governments?
I mean, any government that is playing any role whatsoever in the globe, on Earth, should be deep.
Venezuela, you think's busy with the AI?
I would think I mean, again, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Know.
Yeah,
but I could probably find out pretty quick just with a couple of
Perplexity searches.
Yeah.
Is that what you would do if you need to search something? You'd go to Perplexity.
If I need a question answered or research, I go to Perplexity.
You would not go to Google. You would go to Perplexity.
Perplexity.
And you would do that because of its Puritan form? Why?
Well, I like the citing of sources. Okay. So ChatGPT has a search tool now. They're basically creating a lot of these same tools that Perplexity has.
But you wouldn't go to Google,
right? No, I wouldn't go to Google.
Absolutely not. It would be.
I mean, Google has Gemini, right? Sure. So Gemini is Google's version of ChatGPT.
Okay, it's an AI-driven search engine.
Well, it is. Yes. I mean, all search engines are AI-driven.
But why have Gemini?
Yeah. So, but the difference between Gemini and their old Gemini is the new search technology.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So Gemini is the new search technology. Google is the old search technology, like the Google search.
Yeah.
Right. The algorithm that they ran, still AI.
Okay.
But Gemini is autonomous, independent. Able to go out and do all kinds of research and bring it back to you. But I trust Perplexity.ai because they are kind of that party that they're open to everything instead of trying to steer you where
there's no political agenda in there.
Google wants you to go in this direction.
Yes.
Apple wants you to go in this direction. And I don't blame them for that. I mean, that's just business.
Yeah.
But Perplexity is bringing it from all sources. But they're all getting good at this.
Yeah. It's interesting because I don't use Google either. I use Perplexity almost exclusively for meaningful searches.
Yeah. And citing references, and it's really, for research, you can't beat it. Right.
Okay, so back to AI. I would like to get into a use case now.
All right.
My background is financial services. I understand that you have been employed, hired, contracted, whatever, joint venture, whatever. You have some business relationship with a financial planning firm using your AI understanding to focus them in AI. Tell me about that. Why is it a use case, and why did you focus there?
Yeah, so I think that there are many different industries that AI is going to play a significant role, but financial services has always been, not just in my mind, as a really good area to really focus in, but industry-wide.
Okay.
Everybody knows. Why?
Yeah.
Because what's AI good at? It's good at algorithms, numbers, analysis, pattern recognition. These are all great things for financial services, right? There's so many. Think about how many financial instruments are out there, for example.
There's too many.
And there's so much. It's overwhelming even to people in the industry.
For sure.
So as I was looking into the different industries that artificial intelligence is going to significantly play a big role in.
Yeah.
Financial services is definitely up there on the list. And so I did partner with a group, a company called financialscoring.ai.
Oh, okay.
And what are they doing? And here's why I got excited about working with them, because they're, I want you to think about this, James. You can build a use case. You can take artificial intelligence, these LLMs, you can plug them in, and you can design a custom use case to produce a certain outcome. Okay?
Sure.
Well, if you're in financial services, you could create one that is oriented around you making a lot of money.
Okay.
I mean, that's free enterprise, right?
Sure.
So you might create one that's really designed to kind of sell your whatever you want to sell. But what I loved about what these guys were doing that was different is they were looking at the client.
Okay.
Right? And they were saying, how do we empower the client? How do we work with the client to give them the tools, right, to really assess and understand their financial situation, because they're at the mercy of the experts.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And I don't know how many, I know that I've sat down with family members that just decided to dabble, in financial services.
Like a real estate agent.
I felt guilty not, you got to share all your data and your information, and you don't know if they're giving you good advice or not. I mean,
no.
you hope they are.
Right. My background is financial services, and I can tell you, having spent 30 years doing this, that the industry is chock full of summertime soldiers,
right.
Like you say, dabbling in the business.
Yeah.
And here's the problem with that.
Right.
And I love that you're going to put AI into that world because it's needed. What happens is the best persuaders, the best manipulators,
Correct.
the best folks who may have their best interest in mind
Correct.
are the ones who are leading the industry in income.
Yeah.
They're the smartest guy in the room, as we put it earlier.
Yep.
And that's a problem because who should be the smartest guy in the room is the person who's willing to totally be an advocate for the client, an unbiased, holistic advocate.
Yeah.
And that's missing.
Yeah.
So how do you see AI fixing that?
Well, and that's why I got excited about working with this team.
Okay, the financial scoring guys.
The financialscoring.ai, because they're focused on meeting the client's needs, understanding the client's needs, and then making sure that whatever financial instruments that we're going to recommend are in the best interest of the client first.
Okay,
right?
That's how they operate it.
Right. And when I heard that, I thought, okay, that's the perfect place. Because, again, how do you do it?
It's hard to find that, by the way.
Right. Yeah, it is. That's why I was excited to work with these guys.
Yeah.
Because you got to if you're focused on the solution here in the financial services sector, what do? Well, the first thing you do is you look at what is AI.
Yeah.
What is it good at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
What part of the job of a financial service agent is AI equipped and could do a really good job with?
Yeah.
And then what is the
human
intelligence, right?
Yeah, sure.
Like listen, you got to be able to create trust. You got to have emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
You got to be able to read body language. You got to be able to communicate, collaborate.
Yeah.
You got to be able to adapt and problem solve and work with the client.
Right.
And create trust, right? Well, a computer can't do that.
No.
However, what can a computer do? It can analyze data. It can look at patterns, right? It's lightning fast at computing. So if you're sitting down with a client, and of course they have this incredible 27-question algorithm with 48 different metrics that they do, that actually gives a financial picture, a score to their clients.
Okay, wow.
Where they can literally look at this and go, wow, based on my age and where I am, this is the kind of recommendation that's exactly what I need, not what a financial service agent wants to sell me. right?
Yeah.
This is about
removes
being
the
out,
salesmanship from the equation.
It does, this is about being out on the give, not on the take.
Ah, well said. Yeah.
How do we serve the customer? How do we serve the client?
Okay.
Right, and then through that process, if Zig Ziglar had a great saying: if you help enough other people get what they want,
you'll get what you want.
Then you'll get what you want.
Yeah.
And that's the premise these guys came from. And I'm like, yeah, that's the perfect.
So you think AI helps create this more healthy experience for the client?
Well, sure, because now a brand new agent who's just learning, right, just getting their
got
feet
their
underneath
licenses,
them, they don't have all that knowledge and that
No.
experience and that wisdom, right?
No.
But now they
But
have
AI
they have an
does.
assistant, an artificial intelligence assistant that helps them with the clients. And of course, they have this incredible scoring algorithm that gives people a financial picture, just like a credit score.
Okay.
And so you take those two and you put them together. You're now empowering their clients with a real tool that helps them not just trust that the recommendations are good because my brother said it was good.
Right.
But or my brother-in-law, more likely the case, right?
Yeah, a guy at church.
Or a guy at church, right?
Yeah.
These are all the stories we've heard of. But actually, I've got now a confirmation. I've got the smartest person in the room
has spoken,
right? And has all the data, can look at everything, can look at my situation and how do I compare? How do I compare with the rest of people in this country, people in my state?
Right. My age group. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't even know. A lot of people don't know what their net worth is, right? This could instantly tell you.
Right. You're right.
Right?
Most people don't. That was one of the things I was able to do is help folks realize assets and liabilities equals their net worth. And we would have to go through these calculations with calculators and pen and paper.
Right.
But
and now
this is all done through the programmatic nature of financial
And when you're
scoring.
talking about things like making up shortfalls or preparing for retirement, it's going to give you the best solution.
I love it.
For your situation. And that's a perfect place for AI and
I
humanity
can
to
see
come
that.
together and create a solution.
Yeah, AI alone can't get people to act.
Right.
And you have to do that in financial services. If they don't implement the recommendation, we don't get them to their goals. So the implementing is the agent, the financial planner. But what we implement is coming from AI.
Correct. Right.
I love that.
It's the relationship. So what's the value that I bring to the equation?
Yeah.
Trust, relationship, communication skills.
Right.
Reading body language, emotional intelligence, all those things. Creative problem solving.
So
those are the things that I bring to the table that create a good working relationship.
Yeah.
And then the trust goes even deeper because I'm leveraging artificial intelligence to make
your
sure
credibility's
that you're
maxed
getting the best possible advice available.
Yeah, I can see that.
Worldwide.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's all the information.
Yeah.
It's been trained, I assume. You've trained it on all the information in the space.
Right.
So is it exclusively that group, or are they creating subscriptions? How's the business work?
Yeah, so this is a good example of a use case where you take a large language model.
Okay.
You then create customization.
Training
and security measures, right? So because look, if you're going to share this information, you need to know that it's secure.
Sure.
Right? We don't want that information to be going out into
my personal client data needs to stay private.
Correct.
Yeah,
and you need to know that you're in a secure place, a safe place, right?
Yes.
Where you can, go back and forth and it can learn who you are and what your background, what your age, and yet keep it in a private, secure place. So that's a very important component of this, right, is security. And that's a component that we create from the LLM. So these are custom-built pieces.
Okay.
Like, think of like puzzle pieces, right?
Okay.
So they already had the asset of the 27-question, 48-metric algorithm to do the scoring.
Okay.
So that's a component, right?
Got it.
So then you take that component and the use case of training the AI to then make the best recommendations for that particular client.
I see.
Right?
Yeah.
That's another component. We build that custom piece out. And then you've got the human interaction, the human intelligence, and that's the agent that's now empowered. And even if they don't have all the experience in the world, they now have access to all the experience in the world.
Yeah.
So you take those three things and you have something proprietary, unique, and so agents can subscribe to become a certified scoring analyst.
Financial planners can do that?
Yeah, any financial planner could go through the process to become a certified scoring analyst.
All right, so let me just devil's advocate here. I've done this 30 years. I think I know everything, right? That's the common situation.
You're the dangerous one.
Right, I'm the one. Yeah, I know. I haven't met a client I can't help.
Right.
Okay.
Sure.
So I hear about this. Am I a candidate for a subscription, and why?
Well, yes. I mean, I think any financial planner would want to have these tools to provide to their clients. So I don't care what your experience level. That's just me. Yeah. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, some of them may not feel that way.
Sure.
Right. And that's okay, because remember, we started this conversation.
But I think I know everything. Just speak to me, because I think...
Remember, we started this conversation with artificial intelligence today is not coming for your job.
Right.
However, someone who knows how to wield it, leverage it, use it in your space, they are coming.
So a new guy rolling in who's a financial planner has access to everything ever said, done, written, presented in the space.
Right.
I've only got my experience.
Correct.
Which I think is sufficient.
And it's gotten you this far, and it is more than most people in the industry, let's say.
But you would contend, if I'm still manning your argument, you would say, no matter how much experience I have, it can't compete with all the knowledge all the time in microseconds.
Well, and most of that experience, how much of that is human intelligence? See, I'm going to tell you.
And how do you separate
any
it?
successful person in the space has a high degree of human intelligence.
Yeah,
and
like, maybe less AI.
That's right. And so, or less of that real data mind. And so those guys are so good at the human intelligence side, they can be successful in spite of bad advice.
Yeah, right. And may give bad advice.
They may, but yet they're being held up in the industry as being a successful whale,
producer.
Slayer.
Right. No, you're right, and that's because they're good at human intelligence.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The new combination of human intelligence combined with artificial intelligence creates something where we can solve the world's greatest problems. Like the world's greatest problems.
How would you get a stubborn financial advisor who knows everything? I'm just using that as the example. How do you get that person, he or she, to actually slow down to understand what you just said? Because I think what you said is really light bulb worthy. So how do we get? And maybe that's not our business. But it seems like it would be yours if you're trying to get subscriptions and you're trying to help people understand this is a better path.
Yeah, I think initially we're probably going to get the people that are hungry, young, that want to be on the cutting edge, that want to pioneer, like those early adopters.
That's the word I'm thinking of.
Those are going to be the first ones. They always are, and the seasoned guys are going to come late to the party.
That's it. They're late. They're late. They're laggards.
They're and it's because they know it's almost like you're a victim of your own success.
Sure, we hear it all the time. We hear it all the time.
And yet this young guy that's kind of hungry and wants to be on the cutting edge. He's going to work, and he's going to be like all of a sudden leveraging these tools, and he's bringing on clients faster than we've ever seen.
Yes.
And then next thing you know, he's like running circles around the seasoned guys. And that's when the seasoned guys wake up and they go, oh, you know what? We better do something here.
The early adopter, in a way, with their success, converts the know-it-all.
Right.
For lack of a better word.
And there's pain. To be an early adopter, there's a price you got to pay.
Sure.
Right? The technology doesn't always work perfect. Like, for example, AI hallucinates. You can't 100% trust everything coming from AI. So you have to be able to take your human skills and really filter and make sure that you're, watching this process. Like I always say that artificial intelligence is good at doing 80% of the heavy lifting that's a pain in the butt, your job, like the pain part, the part, the part that you don't like to do, right? The hard, crunchy number,
set the appointment.
You'd rather just talk to people, right?
Set the appointment.
Setting appointments is a good example, and AI is in position to
calendar
help with
the
that.
appointment.
Calendar the appointments, texting, calls.
All these tasks that we hear Siri and Alexa and Google Assistant attempting to do, set your reservations. So you're saying that you've developed some technology that allows these financial planner types to actually do your technology could do that hard work.
Right. We're in the early adopter stage. The alpha release stage, testing it out. But right now we have the artificial intelligence tool that we've talked about, right? Yeah. But ultimately the goal here is to take off a lot of those things so that the human skills can shine and that we can give the client some really good service, right? Really, we're going to give them something that they can't get from any other agent.
Can the AI make the call?
Yeah. Outbound, inbound.
Okay. Can the AI not sound like a robot?
Oh yeah, yeah. Most people wouldn't be able to tell, even.
Really?
But at the same time, I think we need to be transparent. I don't think we should be hiding this.
I know. I'm just wondering what the technology is.
But yes, they're so good. They're so good now. It's very hard. Like you can
okay.
In fact, anybody can do have a ChatGPT account, and if you're a paid account person, you have advanced voice where you can interact and go back and forth. With an AI.
This is a service you provide.
Well, no. This is artificial. This is through ChatGPT.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's a standard thing on ChatGPT that you can have a voice interaction, right? And they have advanced voice. It's very. I mean, it's like talking to another human being, right?
Okay.
But you're talking to artificial intelligence.
I'm just thinking of my career and all the things I didn't like to do, and I'm just wondering how much of this can be done by the technology. Yeah. Can it calendar my appointments without me being involved?
Yes, it can do that.
Can it mine my database and find me appointment potential?
Yes.
Yeah, clearly yes.
These are things that are being
done. You don't
need
to think about this?
Yeah.
It's yes?
Oh, 100%.
Wow. Wow.
100%.
Okay. Yeah. That's pretty breakthrough stuff. Okay, these are all the things nobody wants to do, by the way, in our space.
That's what I'm saying.
How about you talked about the scoring and the 27 questions? It sounds like that's a big deal. Mm-hmm. Can it do that?
Sure. I mean, we can do a custom special use case, and we're already working on this with financial scoring.
The AI person or whatever,
instead of having
avatar or whatever,
having a human score, you could interact with an AI in a private room, secure area.
Wow!
And you could go through those questions and answer them, and then interact with the artificial intelligence to give you the best solutions for you.
And if I'm a planner deploying this, and I'm subscribing, let's say, I'm one of your subscribers.
As an agent, yeah.
Right. I'd be alerted to John Doe just got scored. You may want to give him a call. I mean, somehow I would be alerted.
Yeah, you'll have a dashboard, because this is a free service you'd be providing to your clients, right? You're giving them a space, to interact with a safe space to interact with artificial intelligence.
Wow.
And learn about their financial score, and then ask questions. Well, based on where I'm at, when I want to retire, or how about you get a new job. And they have a whole smorgasbord of services and, insurances and all these different things. You could go and you could say, well, this is what my company's offering, right? And you could scan it in, or you could copy and paste it in, the information. You could say, can you evaluate this and tell me based on my age and where we are and our financial score, could you tell me, is this a good thing for me to do? Oh. Right? And it's going to look at it and it's going to tell you why it is and why it isn't. Right?
Wow.
And it'll let you make the decision, and it'll give you that kind of advice.
Now, this is just my rookie nature asking this question, because you're far more familiar with the technology than I am. I'm envisioning this interview being taken place between this robot, which is AI, and my client. Let's just say that I really don't like doing these needs analysis interviews.
Right.
I want the AI doing them. Mm-hmm. I'm just envisioning the client having follow-up questions, and all of a sudden the AI doesn't know the answers. How does that get resolved?
Well, first of all, the AI is going to know an answer, right? Now it will also have protections in there. It'll say things like, hey, you need to always talk to a professional.
Okay,
right?
it's going to push them back to me.
Yeah, it's going to push them back to the agent, but it has
the ability to converse.
If there's an answer out there, if there's a consensus answer out there.
Okay.
Right?
So it can converse with my client.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if they're out of bounds. We're not just on the 27 questions.
No.
They've moved into a tributary of thought,
right.
And they're having a sideline discussion.
Correct.
The AI can have that discussion.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I should reach out to my, I don't know if I should be looking at a different financial instrument right now. Can you do an analysis and tell me instead of me calling my buddy who would love for me to transfer my 401k into his investment instrument, right?
Yeah.
Instead, I'm going to AI and I'm saying, hey, based on my situation, what are the things I need to be thinking about? And then it's going to say, well, these are the things that make the most sense based on where you are and where you want to go. And then it will say, hey, would you like to schedule? I'm happy to schedule an appointment with your agent. And you can talk to them about that financial instrument.
You know what's weird? I'm thinking of this experience I had recently that made me think that the AI couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. That's why I asked the question. I think it was a DoorDash experience where DoorDash is pretty good about making sure they never speak to you, right? They're pretty good about making sure you hit the right button and hit the right, So I'm having a problem with the delivery, and I hit a button that says, did that resolve your thing? And it didn't. And it didn't. And I said, no. And then it didn't quite know what to do. It was as though it wasn't a menu item that they could come up with that fit the situation.
Right.
And none of them, if I'd clicked any of them, fit.
Right.
And so I just said no.
Right.
And it didn't know what to do. And so I'm thinking, I mean, it literally was a fail. It was like, I guess we've got to stop talking because you don't know what to say and I don't know what button to press. So that's what I was envisioning with this. Yeah. You're telling me this is far more advanced than that.
Yeah. So this is the transition we're in right now. Okay. From what we would call, I would call them dumb chatbots.
Okay.
Dumb chatbots.
Yeah, they're
right?
chatbots.
Now, what's a dumb? And again, this is just my terminology.
Yes.
You know, a dumb chatbot is one that's only trained in a very narrow area to give you the exact same answer
options
every time. If it doesn't fit into my cookie cutter, then I'm not going to have an answer.
I don't have the answer.
Well, so AI is not that. Like when you deploy a large language model and you bring it down and you focus it and you customize it and you train it on certain data, but you also open it up to a lot of the world, the global data. Yeah. And you combine those two, you create something that is new and different, and that's a highly intelligent agent or chatbot.
So DoorDash, in my experience, would be better off training, customizing around a real inferenced AI.
Right. And the reason big corporations like DoorDash are slow to do this, and this is why you're going to have the nimble companies that are, going to completely shake up the industry.
Yes.
But because of liability, right? Like when you open it up, right, to a large language model.
It could recommend I poison myself.
Yeah. I mean,
it could get off the chain.
And so you really have to work hard at customization. And a lot of these big companies, until it gets to 100% safe, they're not going to do it. But you're going to have people that are going to go, you know what? If we just have a lot of disclaimers, well, we're okay with 98.
Yeah.
We'll put disclaimers in and we'll be okay at 97.
Because I would like that experience. Yeah. I don't actually want to talk to a Verizon operator either.
Right.
I don't want to talk to them.
Yeah.
I would prefer to be able to have an AI conversation.
Yeah.
But I would prefer it be a conversation that could address my weird need, my unique situation, not these 6 circles that don't seem to fit my situation.
Yeah, I'll tell you an encounter I had with a call over the phone artificial intelligence agent that was designed to book an appointment.
Okay. And
I'm on the phone and I'm testing this technology because I'm always testing the latest technology, right? And I threw a curveball at it. I'm like, it was right before Halloween, and I was like, what kind of Halloween costume should I wear this year? All right,
just out of nowhere.
How's it going to answer this?
Random.
Right? And so what it did was it made like a joke about it, and then it redirected it right back to the questions that I needed to answer to book the appointment. In other words, it was like, I don't know, I'm sure you'll rock it, whatever it is, And then
it addressed it.
It addressed the question.
So you knew you were having a conversation.
Yeah, and it didn't feel like I'm talking to AI, even though in this case I knew I was.
Right.
But that's the level we're at, right? Where you can throw anything out. You're not going to stump it.
Yeah.
But it will be, the better it's trained, it will redirect you.
Yeah.
And then in some instances, if you ask it to do something completely outside of its parameters or against the law, it will shut it down and go, hey, we're not that's not what I do. I don't have anything to do with that.
I don't recommend that.
It'll distance, but then again, it'll redirect.
Beautiful. Okay, that's good. Chris, I want you to tell the audience one last time the book that's been written, the site they can find you. This is fascinating, and I want to bring you back. There's so much more, and I think this industry is changing so quickly. We got to have you back in here to discuss this. I've got a neurosurgeon we discuss health stuff with. I would like, with your permission, I would like you to be our AI expert because I think this is taking over the world, and we do need
whether we want to or not. We can't put the cat back in the bag. I mean, it's out.
Right. Right.
We got to work with it.
That's right. Thank you for being here. This has been fascinating. Anything you'd like to add? Give me the website, please.
So I'm co-author. We're in the process of finishing this book. It's called Empowering Humanity in the Age of Artificial Intelligence.
Perfect.
And I'm working with a PhD in education, and she's also a co-president of the Human Intelligence Movement.
Beautiful.
So we are co-writing this, co-authoring this book. And
sounds like
you
a great
can go to
book.
the website, which is empoweringhumanity.ai.
Okay.
And then the Human Intelligence Movement, I highly recommend you check that out, is the humanintelligencemovement.org.
Okay.
And you can find on LinkedIn, they're all over, they're growing fast. And obviously this is a critical juncture for humanity, and we got to get it right.
Yeah.
And I believe if done correctly, we can pivot with education. We can pivot in the workforce, and we can say, again, it's a simple analysis.
Yeah.
You put it on the table, and you say, okay, what does AI do well in this space?
Yeah.
What do humans do well? And let's leverage
Yeah.
those two
Yeah,
intelligences.
that's a great way
right?
of distinguishing this, because up until today, I always thought of AI as this compute power that we've got access to, but I didn't think about human intelligence, artificial intelligence, the way you're saying it. It's a beautiful way to juxtapose the issue.
Right.
As we wrap, give me the website for your financial partnership.
Oh, yeah, financialscoring.ai.
Oh, okay. It's there. There's a website there.
You can go there. You can become a certified scoring analyst.
Okay.
You got to apply.
Okay.
But it's a subscription thing, and we're really looking for those early adopter pioneers, someone that wants to really develop and revolutionize the industry.
As a client or financial services professional?
As an agent, like some of the agents that we're looking. We're looking for the early adopters, right? Because they're the ones that are going to want to provide this to their clients.
Okay.
Right. And
it's a tool for a planner to use with a client.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what financial score. I mean, you can go there and you can learn about the scoring and all that, but we'd want to get you to a certified scoring analyst.
Gotcha.
To take you through the process.
Beautiful. Boy, this has been great. So informative for me. And I've been reading up on this. I've been studying this. I'm trying to get my mind around it. I consider myself an early adopter, but this is so big.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Great. Thank you, Chris. Another great episode of Inside Out. Thank you for being here. I'm your host, James Catledge. We'll see you next week.